Testing. Hopefully you can hear me. I've been working on putting together this new streaming page. So I had everything messed up a little bit here. I'm still having trouble with my voice as well. Looks like they're running 3 lanes across the Bay Bridge already for beach traffic. I do not like that. Look at that. Oncoming traffic on the Bay Bridge is not fun. So you've got the 2 eastbound lanes and then one of the westbound lanes all headed eastbound towards the ocean, with one coming, or 2 lanes technically coming back for Eastern Shore to Baltimore is what we're seeing here. And it always makes me nervous. We usually end up with bad accidents on Fridays on the highways to begin with. But it looks like the storms are just drying up in the Baltimore region. Let me put this down, this camera down. And show you what's going on. As per usual, the worst is always to our south. And that's because there's a lot more mountain to, I would say, distance-wise, there's a lot more distance between the mountains over here in Virginia to the Chesapeake Bay. All that land is pretty flat comparatively. So up here in Maryland, the mountains between Frederick and Hagerstown, and it's only 60-70 miles from that Blue Ridge Peak right there in between Frederick and Hagerstown, which is 1,900 feet in the air, down to Fells Point in Baltimore City, 20 feet above sea level. So that's a big steep difference there. And the storms come from west to east. If they're moving fast, they usually get a pretty good boost from that difference in height. But today it looks like they're having some trouble staying together. And then on the Eastern Shore, that is more related to the rain that's down there. That's more related to the coastal storm. And then we have some of these cells down in Virginia that are much stronger. This cell in particular, very strong. This is the only severe warned thunderstorm right now. And it's been causing damage. We flip it over to velocity. It's a very small storm, but it's had reports of 75-mile-per-hour winds and damage. There was a couple reports of damage here too that have expired, which I need to fix that. Wrong menu. I usually put that on 6 hours so we can see the storms accumulate damage. And then that's what these little black circles with the little house character in there is 4 reports of trees down in this particular report, but these are wind damage reports. I don't know what the picture is supposed to be, but the little black circle with the little white emblem in there, that's what that is. These often bluish green squares with a 70 or a 60 80 inside. Those are officially recorded Mesonet or ASOS automated weather machines, basically at airports and other locations around the area. And there's dozens and dozens and dozens of them in our area alone. So these can pick up those super fast wind gusts and report on them automatically when they happen. And it shows the minimum 60, 70, or 80, whatever it is. And then it'll tell you when you click into it the actual number, which this one was 75 miles per hour at an AWOS at Orange County Airport automated weather system. So, and the storm is still swirling. Looks like it's got some hail going on, microbursting. And now it's microbursted off to the side, so that's probably this storm. Believe it or not, the next storm up might have been that too. It briefly had a severe thunderstorm warning on it between Leesburg and Harper's Ferry a little while ago. And they actually just re-warned that storm has a new thunderstorm warning on it right here. And this was that storm Diane that just passed through you. And they had a report of damage from that storm about 2:30 in Brunswick, Loudoun County. Trees down along Toll House Road and the Berlin Turnpike. So that's probably what you experienced. So it seems like that they're staying pretty much just rain north of the Potomac River in Cecil County, Harper County, Baltimore, Carroll, and then over into Washington and Frederick County. But looks like out west of the mountains it's a little meaner with stronger lightning production. That's the best way to gauge how strong a storm is by how much lightning is putting it out. And then these little cells down here in Virginia are quite strong for as small as they are. Over on the eastern shore, more of a rain event, and you can see it's going all kinds of different crazy directions, and that's because the atmosphere has multiple layers going on at the same time, which can itself cause thunderstorms to be quite mean, but it doesn't look like today it's going to be that bad down there so far. So as you can see, if I put the radar in motion, these storms are moving in to the east, southeast, but they're not staying together across the I-95 Baltimore, D.C. area. We've got storms being pushed up the coast on the Delmarva Peninsula and over by the beach, causing rain. Some flare-ups over the temporarily there was some flare-ups over here. Now we got a severe thunderstorm warning on the western Maryland, Cumberland area, just south of Cumberland. And when you look from one side of the mountains to the other, you can see the mountains there. Kind of remember that when you're looking at your radar, you need to switch from Baltimore's radar over to the Pittsburgh radar to be able to see these storms on this side of the mountains, because the mountains block the radar. Oh, that was weird. Sorry about that, Alan. I don't know why that thing should not be yelling at you. Huh. That was weird. Let me see if I can fix that. Just ignore it. Yeah, it's gonna keep doing it. I'm turning it off. I don't need that in here with 30 people. Set a little too high. Kind of funny, really. It should have fixed it. You can try typing on something again, but see if it yells at you one more time. I think that's got it. Yeah, it should be good now. Gotta love the cancel culture crap. Again, apologies. Silliness. There's people cussing and screaming all kinds of profanities on Facebook Reels. Nobody shuts them down, but you can't type your own last name. That's funny. This world's gone insane. So overall, this doesn't look too bad. And like I said, most of these warnings, these severe thunderstorm warnings, are because of a little bit of hail or winds approaching 60 miles an hour. Damaging speed is considered 58 miles per hour. So if they show 50, 55 mile per hour wind gusts on the radar in the sky, then they automatically put a warning out, because it could be even heavier at the ground level, faster speeds. So yeah, Lancaster's definitely got a good storm going on up there. Nothing quite severe, but the Pennsylvania-Maryland border north of that is, if you can see, it's green tinted for a flood watch. They're expecting heavier rains up on that side of the line, apparently. And this is another problem with the NWS, like I've been talking about lately. This is one of the things they need to fix. The Sterling office is Baltimore. They control Maryland, and they do the warnings for Maryland and a lot of this part of the region. And then Mount Holly, which controls the radar up in Philadelphia, handles most of the Delmarva Peninsula down until you get to the Delaware-Maryland line at the bottom. And then there is State College up in PA, and they handle pretty much like around Harrisburg, York, and Chambersburg, stuff like that. And all of these offices do not communicate properly. It's been getting worse and worse, and that is why you get these warnings that, like we had the air quality alerts the past couple of days, have been all over the place. And I think what's going on is and I hate to say it, but incompetence is really definitely what's happening. Because when they eliminated the 600 people with the Doge cuts, those were mostly people that were already close to retirement, senior, high paid, executive level or boss level senior meteorologists, and they've been replaced with college level kids who don't have any experience, and the quality of the service has not only gone down, but there is a definite marked decrease in grammar, spelling, and the way the communication between offices works. And people are seeing this across the board. Also, not enough coverage at night for severe weather events. If there's nobody working the office, then oh well, that's their problem. And on top of that, they scheduled all these major updates to the radar systems right at the beginning of June, right in the middle of severe weather season, when the biggest tornadoes tend to happen. So I just, it's mismanagement and incompetence. And anybody who's worked a big corporation that's been taken over knows exactly and sees exactly what's happening. So Mr. CEO came in, and he did a lot of good in a lot of other areas, but to screw with the NWS the way they did was just completely backwards, unwarranted and unneeded, and it's causing a lot of issues and eroding trust even faster, and making things a lot worse for everybody out there who does care about the weather and people's lives. So it's probably going to get worse before it gets better, but we'll see what happens. However, I am starting a new channel for live streaming, since I'm up all night anyway. And even Ryan Hall, Max Velocity, all those guys sign off around 10 o'clock. They do it all day, and then they give up at the end of the night, and they turn it over to their Nightbot or their, YAWLbot, whatever. And all of the NWS offices close up, and that's why we're having these major tornadoes that are being missed. So what I'm going to do is start doing what I do here for you guys now, nationally, on a new webpage. And I've been trying to get it together for the past couple weeks, and it's just getting worse and worse. So hopefully I can get it up there and running tonight or tomorrow, because there was major tornadoes missed overnight and early this morning again out in Oklahoma. They had a major storm come through, and there is automated computers at the National Weather Service, but they're very finicky and they miss a lot of stuff, and they warn for things that they don't need to warn for. It's an imperfect and very hit or miss system, and it's supposed to be used and then have somebody there to watch and verify and either take down the warning and cancel it, or verify that there is something big going on and monitor the system. But when there's nobody in the office, they're basically just leaving at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or 9 o'clock in the evening, 10 o'clock in the evening, locking the doors and leaving it on automated detection, and that's pretty much what you get. It even happens here all the time, and it's happened for years that way. And I've been saying for years the National Weather Service needs to be upgraded and updated to the modern technology and abilities we have nowadays with social media especially. We're still running on 1990s systems. So I was very hopeful that we were going to get that and cut all of the pork and excessive nightmares going on with our money in other areas, and then apply it to the things that save lives, like the National Weather Service and NOAA and stuff like that, and get a reorganization going. But no, all we had was a CEO hatchet job come in, just like we've seen 1,000 times to companies in the past, where all they want to do is come in and cut the bottom line to make shareholders happy. And that's exactly what we got, even though it's the government. And the first thing they always do is cut the highest paying individuals, or the people with the most experience, and then they replace them with the lowest paid people, and then put twice as much responsibilities on that same job level for half the pay. And I know many of you have had it happen to you before in the past 20 years, because that's the new way business has been done. The corporations are just out of control. And I was worried about that happening when they brought him in. So now they're having a pissing match online, and they're mad at each other instead of getting along. So Lord only knows what'll happen with that. It's just a complete nightmare. So hopefully I can help fix it, and other people will catch on and start doing that as well. Not much going on around the area. These storms are starting to fizzle out still. Romney, Kaiser, West Virginia, Burlington, West Virginia, you guys got a mean storm bearing down on you. But other than that, most of it's just rain. Traffic's pretty ugly on the Bay Bridge there in the middle camera. So if you're headed to Ocean City, leave early, or you might want to just wait until later this evening. But once you get on shore, down to the shore, the traffic's not bad. That's the Indian River Bridge on the bottom there.